What's the difference between a will and a trust? You ask, or you wonder, or you show interest in when somebody mentions estate planning and passing to you? Well, the primary difference is that a will must be filed in probate court, where a trust does not. Why would you bother to engage in either document? Because if you have substantial assets, and most of us do, though you think you do not, 80% of Americans own a home. So that's a minimum $200,000 and up that you own in wealth. You have a pension, you have an IRA account, you have a savings account, a checking account, life insurance policy. So on average, you're worth at least $750,000. And if you have multiple homes, multiple real estate properties, multiple cars that are paid off, or cars of depreciation asset, you have assets that your loved ones will struggle with having transferred to their own name because you didn't put a plan in place. And if you don't put a plan in place for that transfer of your assets, the government has it planned for you, and you might not like it. So in probate court, when you have a will or no planning at all, you must go through the probate court process, the legal system. So just think about, you've worked hard your entire life to build your empire and to build your wealth, but you left the end result to the court and the legal system, who has thousands, 10,000 cases, and they don't care about you in particular. So not only do you have to go to probate court, take time out of your job and go file in probate court, but now the person who files for probate on your behalf will require the signatures of your heirs. So imagine that you paid an estate attorney to put a will in place for you. You told them who you wanted to receive what and when, and then one of your siblings or your kids, they don't like what you decided you wanted to do with your assets, so they file what's called an objection. That's probate court, and it is those little things like the objection that's filed by people simply because they know their rights, but they don't understand how filing that objection is going to affect the entire estate. And in the end, no one wins. That's a will. And to be clear, if you haven't watched our prior videos, the whole purpose of a will or trust plan is the seamless transfer of your assets when you die. So if you were to pass away yesterday and you own a home and a bank account and an IRA, and you did not list a beneficiary on any of these assets, including your home, because you can't technically name a beneficiary on your home, but you can have a joint owner. But imagine you have $100,000, $1 million worth of assets in your name alone, because you're single, you're wealthy, you're not married. You might even live with a significant other, but that significant other has no right to inherit anything from you if you did not put a blueprint in place for your loved ones to follow along. So that is essentially what estate planning is. It is a collection of documents that's put in place to handle your affairs if you become incapacitated while alive, or if you pass away. Then that allows someone who you chose, in particular, who you personally chose for yourself, to step into your shoes and handle your affairs for the best interest of your loved ones. So that means if you own a business, you own a limo service, you own vending machines, do you have any idea who will have the power and authority to step into your shoes and collect the funds from the vending machines and refill the vending machines on behalf of your spouse and your kids who you put these items in place for? That's exactly what happens. So just imagine in Atlanta, especially with the car accidents, and I shouldn't pick on Atlanta, car accidents happen everywhere, but you know how bad the traffic is in Atlanta if you live here. So imagine you have a car accident and you don't go home afterwards. Do you have any idea who's going to take care of your 5-year-old or your infant child, or that business that you put your blood, sweat, and tears in for 20 years? And that's where estate planning comes in. So subscribe below and continue to follow us so you can learn more tips as to why estate planning is so important today. As a reminder, 78 to 80% of Americans own a home, but only 20% have an estate plan in place to transfer those assets. And even when you put a plan in place, you're using either online services or jack-of-all-trade attorneys who essentially draft whatever you tell them to draft. They do not consider your entire enterprise, your business assets, your real estate, your insurance, etc. So subscribe below so that you can learn all the myths and truths about estate planning and probate that will help you properly prepare for a blueprint for your family. Until next time.